I'm out here close to Stone Bluff, Oklahoma on what used to be the Midland Valley Railroad. You can see there's a little pathway for like ATVs and stuff that was put here on the old railroad grade. All the old railroad ties and stuff. So today I came out here. I've been out here before one time, about 3 years ago. I came out here to show you all an old intact Midland Valley Railroad bridge up here over a creek. I filmed the Snake Creek Bridge in Leonard, which it was mostly washed away. The steel arch truss was washed away, and just the pilings and the wood trestle parts on each side were still there. But this bridge up here is still completely intact. At least it was last time I was out here. And we're close to, like I said, Stone Bluff, Oklahoma here. So I'm gonna get back to it, and I'll show y'all. We're right here next to the, you can see there's the Arkansas River right there. So we're right next to Arkansas River. The Midland Valley for here followed the Arkansas River very closely. It actually avoided the main part of town in Stone Bluff. It kind of followed the Arkansas River for about 3 or 4 miles right here, just right alongside the bank. And then eventually it turned and went back and went through Haskell and Taft and on the Muskogee. But anyway, show you all what's up here. Alright guys, I got off the railroad grade and I've been down here looking for old telegraph insulators. I'm on the north side of the tracks, and I'm right next to the Arkansas River here. And I had a friend that showed me a website online called historicaerials.com, where you can get on and look and see different pictures of areas from back in the day. And I looked at this area on the Midland Valley from 1956 when the telegraph poles were still here, and they built the line on the north side of the tracks next to the river. And that always confused me, because back when I used to be looking out here, I always looked on the south side because it seemed like the ground was more level up there and had been away from the river, and it made more sense for them to build the telegraph line on the south side of the tracks instead of the north side. But apparently they actually did build it on the north side. I went down here looking, and here's a piece of a Hemingway number 40. It's got a number 8 on the dome. These are very common insulators here in Oklahoma. As you can see, this is just a small broken chunk of one. I just recently hunted part of this railroad line close to my house, and I found a CD-128, which is kind of weird. More of a telephone insulator. You don't expect to see that on a railroad. See, this right here is what I would expect more on a railroad telegraph line. Hemingway number 40s were made between 1911 and 1921, I believe. This railroad was built in 1904, but this insulator could have definitely been put on a replacement pole. Anyway, even though it's just a shard of a pretty common insulator, I'll go ahead and hang on to it because it's the first insulator I found on this railroad line that actually has a good chance of actually being a real railroad insulator. That last one I found, I really think it was probably someone in the comments mentioned it too, I really think it was probably an open wire telephone line that just followed the railroad tracks more than likely. And that's probably what that CD-128 was from. You never know though. Could have been used on the railroad. But this telegraph line has been gone a very long time, because the 1956 aerial photo, you could see the poles running along the tracks just barely, and in some real clear areas where there was no trees, you could see the poles. And most places though, they were you couldn't really tell where they were. And then And then the 1967 aerial photos, you couldn't see the poles at all. So I think the telegraph line on this railroad was wrecked out very early. The early 1960s probably. Maybe mid 1960s. So anyway, I'm just kind of staying down here in this little ditch. I mean, you can see there's trash everywhere, old bottles and stuff. I'm hoping that I'll find my first hole insulator on this railroad. But that finding that broken shard gives me hope, because I have hunted out here before. I was looking for them closely last time I was here, and I never found any. But like I said, that's because I was mainly concentrating on the south side of the tracks, because I didn't think they would have built the line on the north side. But apparently they did. Anyway, I'll get back to y'all if I find anything. If I don't, I'll see you at the bridge. Man, there's trash all over the place here. Here's another piece of an insulator. See made on it, made in USA. Round drip points. Say it's a piece of a Hemingway 42. There's another small chunk of it. I'll just leave these here, I guess. Ah, man. There's little pieces of aqua glass just littering around here. Yep, that's another part of that Hemingway 42. Oh, look at this, guys. Look at that. Old copper tie wire. Copper tie from the telegraph line. I'll have to look around real close in here. Oh yeah, I'm seeing little chunks of insulators all in right here. I might just take this piece of copper wire, because that's kind of cool. Usually, I mean, I collect so many, I got so many insulators, I don't usually get excited over this stuff. But this rail right here just means a lot to me. And here's another one. That's what those are, though. Those are definitely, I know telegraph wire when I see it. That's definitely old tie wires that would have held the line to the insulator. But look at this, guys. More aqua glass. Definitely part of an insulator. It's all over the place here. Can't even tell what that was. Oh, what is this? N. I don't know what this is. This is almost too thin to be an insulator. If it is an insulator, I don't have a clue what that would have been. Yeah, it was a piece of an insulator. It has to be. Big, heavy aqua glass. I don't know what this was. I guess it could have been the very outer skirt, maybe like a white ultimatum #1. It's kind of that right color for a white ultimatum. Had that light aqua. I don't know what that was though. I just see the words, focus. I just see the words N on it, like maybe it's part of Made in USA. More glass. Yep, definitely a piece of an insulator. This is the skirt of a Hemingway 42 right there, and that's the lower wire ridge of a 42, I'd say, or maybe a 40. Now it's too deep. That's a 42. Anyway, there's definitely a lot more stuff out here than I realized, guys. It's just, I wish I could find a whole piece. We got a lot of rain recently, so could be the rain washed up some pieces. Oh wow, hey guys, look at this. I've been standing here the whole time. I didn't even notice, guys. Here's the stump. Here's the stump of the old telegraph pole right here. Sure enough. Can't believe it. I've been standing here looking at all these pieces of glass forever now, and I didn't even notice the pole stump was right in front of me. There it is. Sure in hell is. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe that was right in front of me the whole time. Well, I guess that's where all the glass came from. There's another little piece here too. Huh. Well, I guess that explains it. All that glass is right down the hill. There's that piece of 42 right below me. So they sawed this old pole off and it took off down the hill. And that's everything that's left behind. Was that sawed or did it break? Oh, it was sawed. Yep, it was definitely sawed off. But you can tell it's a very long time ago. There was moss growing up in it. And it's completely rotted out now. And I don't have a clue if this pole would have been the, original 1904 poles that would have held the wires, or if it was something more recent than that. Pretty old either way. It'd be nice to find a cross piece and some hardware, but I know those poles in Bixby, you could tell from the aerial photos there was cross arms on them. I really don't know about out here. Do you think this line would have had to been just a single cross arm line? Probably had short arms. That probably didn't have full 10-foot arms. Probably just had little 6-foot arms in it or something. But you have to think it was probably, some areas of it, like for here, might have just had little wood toll side pins on them instead of actual cross arms. Because I don't know how many wires this pole line carried. Probably not very many though. But anyway, guys, that's awesome. So I found a pole stump and some shards and even some copper tie wires. So really more out here than I thought there was. So I'm gonna keep my eyes open here and I'm gonna look out. Surely if there's that one pole stump, there's more. Here's an old washout right here. Railroad grade washed away. You can see the old culvert that would have carried the water at some point before this happened. I've come to about where I thought the next pole stump would be, but I don't see nothing. There's a piece of rail hammered in the ground here. The old piece of rail laying off down here. So, kind of interesting. Here's another little pole stump, guys. And all these pole stumps, there's still remains of the old insulators. This here would have been a Hemingway number 40 as well. There's a golf ball there. I don't know what. It's kind of weird. I don't know what that's at here. A little bitty pole though. Smaller than the width of it, smaller than my foot is. About half the size of my foot. Little bitty pole. Yep. Just searching for hole pieces or more shards. Maybe a shard or something really interesting will come up. A little piece of purple glass or something. That'd be cool. Only thing about hunting right here is I feel like over the years, as long as this line's been gone, that a lot of these insulators probably ended up down there in the river. I hate to say that, but I mean, there's still pieces out here though. Right here though, since it's kind of, could have fallen down here in this brush. Since the track sits lower, but I don't know. Alright guys, I'm a little bit further along here, getting close to that bridge now. And I found what appears to be an old rotted out piece of probably a telegraph pole. Or basically a whole pole. You can see it's been laying on the ground for a very long time, but tell right there, that's the old hook marks where they climbed it years and years ago. I haven't found no insulators here. I'm trying to figure out if this here's the top of the pole or if this is the base of it. I don't see a stump anywhere. I also don't see any hardware for like a cross arm or nails from side pins. I don't see a through bolt here or anything. And then this side of it here, Trying to see which way these hook marks are facing. Yeah, they're facing in, so the lineman would have been climbing up it this way, so that would have been the base of the pole. This would have been the top right here. And as you can see, it's all, there ain't nothing left at the top of it. Yeah, it was climbed up this way, so this would have been the top of the pole where the hardware would have been. Those are just railroad ties. Anyway, I'll search around here for a minute. I'll get back to y'all if I find anything. And then I'll show y'all that bridge. Alright guys, I made it now to this bridge that goes over this creek. It's one of the last intact bridges on the Midland Valley Railroad. We have got a ton of rain just in the past few days here in Oklahoma. So much so that the highway I'm right next to, Highway 64, had to close yesterday because at Snake Creek, where I filmed that railroad bridge, the one that washed away last time, Snake Creek had flooded over the highway. It's a brand new highway bridge there they just built about 3 years ago because the old highway bridge was getting bad. But yeah, it flooded that bad. So here's the abutment of the bridge where it starts. You can see it started to wash out right here at the butt of the bridge. I think the abutment itself, the boards have started to give away on the abutment, and it's letting dirt and stuff start to wash out. But there's looking at the side of the bridge, and you can see this bridge here actually has stone piling supporting the truss as opposed to the concrete ones like at Snake Creek Bridge. So I don't know if this is maybe an older bridge or what. Alright, we're right here on it now. You can see some people have added some boards right here to the beginning of it. It looks like these boards are pretty new. So I'd say somebody probably did that just so people could walk across it. Another thing about this bridge, I'll show you underneath it pretty soon here, but it has caught on, the wood trestle part of it before the main piling has caught on fire at some point and started to burn, but it wasn't bad enough that it collapsed, of course. So anyway guys, here's the big massive steel arch truss. It's very old. I don't really know what year this was built. I'm hoping to find a plate on this somewhere that shows a year possibly, but I don't know if there's one on it or not. But it's pretty cool to see an intact bridge. You can see we're back on the original ties. The rails would have just ran right on top of these. And here's more new ones here. I don't remember all these newer ties last time I was out here. So I think these boards here are brand new. Or not brand new, but I think they've been added sometime in the past 3 years. I guess people still come out here like me quite a bit just to explore it and stuff, so I guess maybe somebody around here cares about it enough to put new boards on it when old ties give out, just so people can still walk out on it and enjoy it safely. Because this steel arch truss here, it's not going anywhere, unless the only danger it really has is if the water on this creek ever rises enough to get up into the pilings. If the water gets up to the deck of this bridge, I guess there's a chance of old rusty bolts holding it to the pilings could snap, and off this thing goes. But hopefully that won't happen anytime soon. These old steel arch truss bridges, man, they just They last just about forever, really, if it doesn't flood. Coming out of the trees now into the open. But see, somebody actually took the time to even add little boards right over the steel planks. So this is pretty cool. Somebody's spent a lot of time and money on lumber to come out here and kind of try to fix this thing up somewhat. There's Highway 64 right there. You can see the creek's flowing pretty good right now. People painted their names on it and stuff. Alright, we're coming up to the end of it. Yep. Here's the abutment. Wow, look at this. Look at this fancy woodwork we got going on here. Alright, back off the steel arch truss. Take a few steps back here. Give you all a good shot at this thing. You can see this thing is angled on this side. It goes from, it's almost, the whole bridge really on both sides is angled, as you can see. It's at a really sharp angle here. And on that side it's gotten a little bit of an angle too, but I don't think it's as sharp of an angle as this side is. When you're driving by it on the highway, it almost looks at first like that side of the bridge on the opposite side of the creek from us is giving out and it's falling into the water because of the angle of this. But that's not really the case. It's just how this thing was built, because it fit the angle of the creek. Because the pilings themselves, the old stone pilings, are built at the same angle the creek flows. So anyway, back on the wood trestle part here on this side of the creek. I don't know if I've ever looked under this side or not, but I'll take a look at this down here. Take a look down here at the wood trestle part. I don't think I've been down on this side of it before. It's the other side. Hey, this is actually in decent condition down here. Well, not completely, but it's in better condition than you think it might. Thought it might be. At least the deck beams here. This one here looks pretty new. Wow, that's a lot of ants though. Good grief. A lot of ants. They love to eat this wood. Or maybe they use it to nest in or whatever. Whew, man, I don't know if I want to go under there or not. I don't know what kind of insects have built their nest under these bridges. I don't think I want to find out though. Yeah. Hell, I'll take a look. No date nails that I see yet on the planks. I kept an eye for them. You can see that center piling right there is square for some reason, and it's rotted off at the ground. So this bridge has definitely seen better days. Here's a look at the massive stone piling right here. Wow. It's crazy. I'm on the stone arch, or I'm sorry, the stone piling now. Oh, excuse me. Here's the truss. You can see these bolts right here that hold the steel truss to the stone piling. It looks like there's just 4 of them on this thing. And then the huge massive pivot bolt there. And it looks like there's another anchor point in there. Probably some more bolts. And here's the wood stacked up that supports the wood trestle going back. You can see some of these don't look bad. Like this one here's got creosote oozing out of it. It really doesn't look too bad at all. But and this one here is like completely hollowed out. So I don't know. Let's see, like right here, it looks like a tree started to grow up into the truss itself, and somebody took the time to saw the tree limb off so it didn't grow into this truss. So somebody's taking some time to try to fix up this old bridge, or at least keep it somewhat maintained. Y'all remember how the dirt was starting to give way up there where the beginning of this bridge was on the east side of it. We're under it now, and this is why I called this a mostly intact bridge instead of a completely intact bridge. There was a major fire on this side of the bridge at some point, and it caught this whole wood trestle part of the bridge on fire here on the east side, and it burned so badly that the abutment boards gave way, and the beams have started to slide down into the side of this creek bed. So that's why that dirt started washing away up there, is because the abutment has completely burned under this bridge and collapsed. And you can see it burned the entire structure for here. You can see how the wood's completely charred, and right there it's burned away. And then right here, an entire beam has burned away and fallen, and you can see it's laying down here. It's laying down here on the ground. It's kind of weird looking up at this. Like the whole bridge is just charred right here because it caught fire and burned. And it was like this last time I was out here too. It's been like this for many years, I'm assuming. It's kind of creepy looking. All this burned wood kind of looks weird. But yep, somebody burned it, or maybe there was a grass fire for here or something that caused it to catch on fire. And I have no clue if this thing just burned itself out, or if they sprayed it out, and that's why this bridge is even still here. I figured it could have burned itself out, but I don't know. Seems also though like if they hadn't put it out, it would just burn the whole thing down. Burned all the wood off the truss and everything. And I think that may be why somebody added new boards to the first part of the bridge right there, going out into the steel truss part, because those first few boards probably just burned. That's what I was talking about right here. This ground's giving away. That's just from that abutment burning out. Anyway, guys, that's a good look at this bridge. This video's drug out way more than I intended it to. So, anyway, I came out here just expecting to look at this bridge, and I ended up taking a lot of time to look for insulators too. I went ahead and grabbed this Hemingway number 40 shard. This will definitely be a line I continue to probably look for insulators on. I might come back to this exact place when I have, have a little bit more daylight. And, like I just got off work today, so I'm kind of catching the last few hours before it gets dark here. But anyway, so thank you all for watching.